Tonight, it's Madden NFL football. Super Bowl 57. We'll see Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles taking on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here, as it'll be the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs taking on the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, for these Kansas City Chiefs, they, of course, were Super Bowl champions 3 years ago. The win over the Niners in Miami. They fell to the Bucs in Tampa a couple years back. They had the blown lead in the AFC title game against Cincinnati last year. And now they're back, making their third trip to the big game in 4 years.
And their recent history only increases the urgency to try and win another Super Bowl title with this group.
Meanwhile, it took until Super Bowl 52 for the Eagles to lift the Lombardi Trophy for the first time. And not too many players are left from that squad 5 years ago. But this new group is looking to write a new chapter of Eagles lore.
Yeah, we certainly all remember that performance in the win over New England. Nick Foles throwing for 373 yards, catching the Philly special that will go down as one of the most iconic play calls in Super Bowl history. Now they're back and looking to make it 2 titles in 6 years.
The stage is finally set, and here we go. Super Bowl 57 is underway. Taken at the 15, a short kick. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. The KC offense set to go, led as always by the gunslinger, a former MVP in this league. It's Patrick Mahomes.
And no doubt he's living out a dream right now. He's had dating back to his first days of playing football as a kid. But he certainly can't get lost in the moment right now. There's still a Super Bowl to be played, and his offense, they're looking to him to be their leader. You can take it all in when it's over. Right now, you got the biggest game of your life to win.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
On the tackle, it was the West Virginia man, Kaiser White. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. Leading them out, the 3rd-year player from Oklahoma by way of Alabama, Jalen Hurts.
As we begin the Super Bowl, we're looking at one of the game's most important players. And whether he's the centerpiece of the offense or taking a backseat to his teammates, offenses always look to the quarterback to be a leader in moments like this. He's got to be that calm, composed pillar out there who stays level-headed and keeps everyone focused on the task at hand.
Play action. Here's Hurts. Blitz coming, and down he goes. That was Justin Reed, the safety, who got to the quarterback. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. They go play action with Hurts. Looking here for Smith downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Juan Thornhill. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach on the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and pump the football.
Kansas City taking the field for their 2nd drive. They'll have very good starting field position here after the turnover as they search for the first points of the ball game. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Someone's looking fresh, and his O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain, too.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. To throw, it's Mahomes. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Mahomes now to throw. And he'll just get rid of it.
No sense risking anything there on 1st down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
To throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And that is incomplete.
Coverage was excellent downfield. I think he was more throwing that football away than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely, because everywhere he looked, they were covered.
Sometimes it's better to go ahead and be convinced that there's no place to fit in the football than to go ahead and force it and turn it into a bad play.
And he is stopped just short on 3rd down. Got 9 yards, but needed 10.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that 1st down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Butker's kick here is good. And the Chiefs are out to a 3-0 lead. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
So back onto the field, here come the Eagles for their second drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs.
And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Juan Thornhill. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. From the gun, they will hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, my friend, this has certainly been a comedy of errors here in the first quarter. Neither side able to really hang on to the ball.
Yeah, now I'm just curious to see which team can adjust, because both have made their mistakes, as you said.
Yeah, and whoever can do that can seize firm control of this game, something they haven't done with the ball so far.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Have to give credit for a nice play there, but also have to look at it as a blown assignment. He became a free runner that turned into a free hitter.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Now here's Mahomes. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. Butker's kick here is good, and that will make it 6-0. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Eagles just about set to go to work on offense. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember, last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Off the play fake, here's Hurts. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. Well, obviously they never want to see penalties on that defense, but this one A little bit more significant there on the downfield pass play.
And coaches preach it all the time. You can't put yourself in that kind of position if you're the defender. You've got to stay in a spot far downfield.
And Hurts is intercepted, his third of the game. Trent McDuffie with a pick. And the Chiefs are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. And the first play of the drive goes to McKinnon. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a nice run to get himself back on the horse after his fumble. Nothing spectacular, but a good confidence-building run.
From the 24, Mahomes. That's into the hands of Fortson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 22 yards there, a first down. One quarter done, 3 more to play here in Super Bowl 57. 6-0 is our score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we are back and ready to go for the second quarter of the Super Bowl. Brandon Gaud and Charles Davis, as always, thrilled to be with you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Mahomes now on first down. Open man downfield, that's Smith-Schuster. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, 54 yards. And the Chiefs continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And he's got it to make it now 13-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by the touchdown from Juju Smith-Schuster. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he doesn't even get this to the 10. He's taken down at the 9. The Eagles and Jalen Hurts heading back to work, and he'll be looking to snap a pretty unwelcome start to this ball game. Interceptions on his first 3 drives. They'll look to turn things around here as they start with a first down. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. He was a 1,000-yard receiver during the regular season, and that's his first catch of this Super Bowl, and he picks up the first down. This Super Bowl, of course, just a huge one for this head coach. The first time he's walked the sidelines in a game of this magnitude, and I might normally ask the cliche, what's going through his mind right now? But maybe the better question, CD, what do you think are the pitfalls of being a first-time head coach in this game?
Well, you know it's something that he thought about, Brandon, and he had to. And he was thinking about it long before he got to this stage. As the season progressed and he saw that his team was good, if he was smart, he started to make plans right then and there. Reach out to other coaches who've been there before. Find out how they handled winning, losing, handling all the ticket situations, travel, practice, all those things. And then trust your gut, make your best decision, and put it all out there and give your team their best chance to win.
No surprise to see him running again here. Is something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
On first down, Hurts. And this is caught. It's Brown. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find the answers, and they've got to find them quick.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Hurts. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Hurts throw complete here to his receiver, Brown. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Oh, they were so close. That close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer, but he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
So Hurts is off, and on comes Jake Elliott for the Eagle field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And he missed it. It's no good. And the deficit will hold pat at 13. The Chiefs now. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
We have reached the 2-minute warning. In fact, just under 2 minutes to play in the opening half of this year's Super Bowl. On 2nd and 9, Mahomes. Oh, that one sailed a bit, but the catch is still made. Mahomes finding Juju there for the Kansas City first. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
It's a gain of 35.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Looking for Kelsey there, but it's intercepted. And the Eagles are going to get it back here just past the 35. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their fourth pick of the game. Instead, second down. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Hurts. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
Well, normally you see 3 tight ends in a formation. You have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or two towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
They'll fake the give to Sanders, and now Hurts. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack.
How about that, partner? His second sack of the game, and that puts him in some pretty good company. 17 guys have had 2 sacks in the previous 52 Super Bowls, but only 3 have had the record number of 3 sacks in this game.
And we've got the list here. If he gets another one and everyone behaves nicely, we might just list those out for him. He's going deep for Brown. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Good coverage on the play there by Nick Bolton. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
On fourth down, here's Brett Kern to punt the football away. And look at this. It's a fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. And this defense will take over right at midfield. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's second down now. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good. So we've come upon halftime in the big one, the Super Bowl. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. What a season this has been. Hard to believe it ends tonight, as we'll get back to you guys for the second half of this Super Bowl in just a moment. It's been a tremendous season of football, but it's not over yet. One half remains to decide who will stand on the podium with the Vince Lombardi Trophy. And to call the second half, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. These 2 teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. And right now, their chances of hoisting that Lombardi trophy not looking too great, but perhaps that long halftime, maybe it did them a world of good.
But if there's ever a chance to regroup, it's in this game, right? Because you do have that long halftime, a chance to really assess things and maybe make some changes and true adjustments. They played great all year long. That was the worst first half of the season for them. They're hoping to put it behind them and come out punching here in the second half.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Hurts to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs. To throw again on second down. Hurts. Got him in. It's Brown. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 39. A good pickup there at 22. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
So again from the 39, this time from the other side of the field. Here's 1st and 10. Hurts sets up to throw it. And the Chiefs are going to get him. The safety blitz staged to perfection that time as they sack him for a loss of 6.
And that's his 3rd sack, and that ties a Super Bowl record. Makes me think of my old college teammate, Reggie White. He had 3 with the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 31. Darnell Dockett of Arizona, Super Bowl 43. And Coney Ealy, 3 sacks for the Panthers against Denver in Super Bowl 50.
All those sacks, they've only been an official record since Super Bowl 17. I know it's believed that L.C. Greenwood unofficially had 4 way back in Super Bowl 10.
We're in the
under pressure, and they got to him again. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has now received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So after that sack, Hurts and the Eagles, tough spot here. 3rd and long. They'll set up to throw. And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down. And look at this, another fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. Looking to throw is Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo sack. Mahomes throwing on fourth. It's Kelsey on the ground. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Travis Kelsey, 42 yards. And the Chiefs will extend their third-quarter lead here in this Super Bowl.
And that's a drive that makes everyone happy on that bench because they accomplish exactly what they set out to do. Take care of the football, eat up a little clock, end up in the end zone. Now they've got a cushion for the rest of the game. So they didn't just help themselves offensively, they helped their defense out as well.
Now Mahomes to the line as the Chiefs are going to go for the two-point try. Mahomes will throw for it. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. So unable to throw it in for two from the two. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a two-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst. And if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
And he is going to be tackled at the 1-yard line. What a mess that was.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Back to throw now in his own end zone. This will be caught by Brown. And he's going to get this up to the 24-yard line. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
They'll throw on first down with Hurts. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down. Just one more quarter remains in the season-long race for the Lombardi Trophy here at Super Bowl 57 from Glendale. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. So after that sack, Hurts and the Eagles, tough spot here, 3rd and long. And it's a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
They're going on 4th down with Hurts. He's going deep for Brown. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Eagles unable to convert there on 4th. And the Chiefs will have the football back in excellent field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there, and I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory, and as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think he may want to keep them cranking high right here.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll be 4th down. Now Harrison Butker for the field goal try. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. Butker's kick here is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he doesn't even get this to the 10. He's taken down at the 9.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Throwing is Hurts. Throw left side complete. That's Brown. And they take this up near the 30 before he's taken down. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
From the gun, it's Hurts. This will be caught once again by Brown. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4. They'll set up a throw. High throw, but he makes the catch. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. To throw on 2nd and 10. Hurts. Oh, and Hurts is going to be hit and taken down to the ground. Like a freight train there, Derek Nottie with a sack. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
So after that sack, Hurts and the Eagles, tough spot here. 3rd and long. He'll drop to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Sanders. And he'll be stopped up as he can only muster a yard. So 4th down coming up on the other side as we have reached the 2-minute warning. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. This is Smith with the ground. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Now, no reason not to try it there. They do indeed convert on fourth.
Well, that's something you haven't had to talk about much this game. A nice big play right there. But this team, overall, they haven't done a whole lot offensively.
Well, they're still sitting on the goose egg. We talk about defenses having pride in a shutout. This offense wants to get rid of that zero. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Hurts throw taken in by Watkins here. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. Now, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI. So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but the flag comes out for interference.
And now you're set up right on the doorstep of the goal line. 1 yard away changes what your play calls are going to be.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
On 2nd and goal, Hurts looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. A.J. Brown, a 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Eagles go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
it doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And the formula there on the 2-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that someone, if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Right after the touchdown to extend their lead, now maybe opening the door a little bit there by allowing starting field position at the 40. So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose, but you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
Straight ahead they go with McKinnon. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Good gain there on first down, and keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And the Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.
And they are the Super Bowl champs. The Lombardi Trophy is theirs, and so are bragging rights for an entire season. And what a season it has been. Feels like we have been there every step of the way. Our entire crew doing a wonderful job. Thanks to my broadcast partner, Charles Davis. For all those guys, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off. We'll talk to you next season right here on EA Sports.